On International Women's Day, Hershey decided to be the next company to totally insult women, and it backfired tremendously. Rosie the Riveter here, dropping more truth bombs to destroy fake news and propaganda. Before we get started, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Doing so really does help share the truth with more people. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to get new videos when they are uploaded. So let's get into today's riveting topic. Despite all the pushback dozens of other companies have experienced due to their complete embrace of wokeness, Hershey thought they had the winning campaign for ultimate virtue signaling. But, like with those before them, the country is pushing back. Even Bill Maher, known leftist liberal Democrat, just stated that the trans community is asking for too much, claiming they absolutely do want to shut down debate. Women have spent the last 200 years in this country fighting for rights such as the right to vote, the right to work, the right to own property, to participate in sports, and much more. But Hershey, they want to celebrate women by highlighting men. To them, the best woman they could find for International Women's Day was a man. How incredibly offensive, Hershey. Over the years of writing my liberating letters, I've researched and wrote on several remarkable women through history, though I know it was only a drop in the bucket. Regardless, it's a start, and I thought it might be helpful to those woke companies who can't seem to find a worthy woman to recognize that doesn't have a penis. So, Hershey, since this is Women's History Month, here's a group of real women from history that maybe you can pull from for next year. That is, if your company is still viable. Margaret Cochran Corbin accompanied her husband on the battlefield in the American Revolution. After watching him die, she jumped into his position of gunner and manned the machine until the British took over Fort Washington on Manhattan Island. They only let her live after discovering she was a woman. She became the first female to receive a lifelong military pension. Mary Ludwig Hayes also joined her husband during the Battle of Monmouth and replaced him in assisting the gunner after he collapsed from heat exhaustion. She, too, received a pension for her service. Elizabeth, who was known as Mom Bett, was a slave at the time of the Revolution. Upon hearing a public reading of the new Massachusetts Constitution in 1780, words similar to those she heard in the Declaration of Independence rang in her ears. All men are born free and equal and have certain natural, essential, and unalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the right of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties. She sued for her freedom and won. Deborah Simpson wanted adventure and to travel, so she disguised herself as a man and enlisted in the Continental Army. Receiving several wounds, including musket ball wounds, of which she removed one herself and lived with the other the rest of her life, her true identity was discovered. General Henry Knox gave her an honorable discharge, and she was awarded $34 for her service. Two sisters, Rebecca, 21, and Abigail, 17, saw British ships heading into their harbor during the War of 1812 and acted immediately. Grabbing a fife and a drum, they hid within the trees as the redcoats rode closer. Starting quietly, the girls began a lively rendition of Yankee Doodle, increasing their volume as they played. The soldiers could not see due to the trees. However, the music convinced them an American militia was quickly approaching the shores. Not wanting a fight, the British returned to their ships and withdrew from the area. A slave in North Carolina Harriet Ann Jacobs spent 7 years in hiding in an attic space atop a small storage shed at her grandmother's home. It was a 9-by-7 cavity and only 3 feet high at its highest point. Her goal? Freedom for her and her children. She finally escaped to New York in 1842. 2 decades later, her essay, Incidents of the Life of a Slave Girl, was published in a newspaper serial column and later in a book form, which revealed the horrors of slavery and opened the eyes of many to it. Lucy Hobbs Taylor had a desire and talent for medicine at a time when women were not admitted to medical schools. Despite the support of several doctors and professors, Lucy still could not get admission. Therefore, Lucy opened a thriving dentistry practice, as degrees were not required for dentists. Her talent became so evident, the Iowa State Dental Society recognized her work, changing their bylaws and constitution to allow women. They also pressured a Cincinnati college to admit her. She became the first woman in the world to receive a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree, or DDS. Charlotte E. Ray was born into freedom in New York in 1850. Her parents, strong abolitionists, sent her to a private school where she trained to be a teacher. When the school she was assigned to formed a law school, she enrolled. She graduated in 1872, becoming the first black woman to receive a law degree. Within the next 2 months, she became the first woman admitted to the District of Columbia Bar, as well as admitted to practice before the Supreme Court of the district, inspiring women throughout the country to pursue their own entry into state bars. Orphaned at 7 and widowed at 20 with a 2-year-old daughter, Sarah Breedlove refused to be kept down. Using her married name and adding a French title, Madam C.J. Walker started her own business, which led her to be not only the first black female, but the first female millionaire in America. Telephone operators, known as Hello Girls, were sent to Europe during World War I to facilitate communication between commanders, the men in the trenches, and with our French counterparts. They were translators, transcribers, and connectors, stationed within miles of the battlefields, carrying out their duties calmly, coolly, and collectedly. They helped change the conditions of warfare. Millions of Rosie the Riveters left their homes, as their men left the country, to fill those positions now unoccupied. Some made plane parts, ammunition, and other valuable items the soldiers needed, while others cleaned the factories, organized rubber and metal drives, and tended gardens so their family and others could eat. They may not have been in the battlefield, but they were an integral part of the war effort. A young black girl growing up in the Depression, Katherine Coleman Johnson's parents made sacrifices to send her to school past 8th grade. Graduating high school at age 14 and college at 18 with a B.S. summa cum laude, her brilliance in mathematics was obvious. Despite the obstacles, she destroyed the glass ceiling at NASA for women, gaining immeasurable respect from astronauts such as Alan Shepard and John Glenn. So Hershey. While this is only a tiny drop in the bucket of courageous women, I think we can all agree that you truly can do better. Look beyond the woke trees and discover the forest that proves real women aren't not men. Since I am a woman, I can state with 100% confidence that this trans-pandering you woke companies are engaging in is insulting, demeaning, and degrading to all women. Not only do I know this, the vast majority of Americans do also. It would be nice if some of you would figure it out too. I'm Rosie the Riveter, and that's my 2 cents. But what do you think? Leave your comments down below. Make no mistake, we are in an information war, and our weapon is truth. Find it. If you don't know where to start, begin at thefactspaper.com, where I have links to thousands of articles sharing the truth the fake news propagandists won't, including those noted in this video. Investigate and discover the truth for yourself. The fight is tough and the fight is hard, but we are winning. The light of truth will destroy the evils of darkness. Come on, patriots. We can do it.